Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of what's going on in the real estate market in the Geneva Lakes area. So January, February, and March, they were particularly strong and robust compared to what they usually are throughout the years. And then April, which is usually the best selling month for homeowners, was significantly slower. Hi, my name is Jade Goodhue, broker and co-owner of Legendary Real Estate Services. The market right now can be considered wonky. It's accelerating in some areas, but stalling in others. And this is due to a multitude of factors, including high housing prices affecting affordability, prolonged, persistent high interest rates, a number of new listings trickling slowly but steadily on the market, and this being a presidential election year. As you can see from this table below, the market stalled across the board in Walworth, Kenosha, and Racine County. Pending home sales stalled by at least 50% in April of this year as compared to April of last year, and by about 20% year to date. So is buyer demand slowing? Well, on the surface, it may look from this graph that homes listed for sale seem to be hanging out on the market for an uncomfortably longer time. However, digging into the numbers that make up the average, this is because there is a significant price disparity between the price range that buyers are looking for and buying in and what's actually being listed on the market. As you can see from this graph, what this means is that the homes that are for sale right now are at least $50,000 to $100,000 more than what buyers today are looking for, which is why the homes that are on sale are stalling, yet the homes that are in the right price range that are below about $399,000, they are in high demand and they're flying off the shelves. It is because of this disparity. This is happening because fortunately and unfortunately, Wisconsin is one of the states that saw the biggest increase in home prices across the nation. Here in the Lake Geneva area, it's exacerbated because we are a tourist town. Another reason for the wonky market is the high interest rates. As you can see, it's at about 7.22 at the start of this month. It wasn't like it was in the 1980s when it was up to 18%, but still, we had the fastest rate hike that we've seen in nearly 30 years. And it was the right move then to bring down inflation and slow down a runaway market. But what the feds are doing, leaving rates high, straining consumers right now, it's getting to a point of diminishing return, because the problem is usually when they raise rates high like this, we have an overabundance of supply. I don't see that overabundance yet, do you? So that's why there's a diminishing return. Another reason for the wonky market is that we are seeing more listings. It's not an overabundance, but it is a steady flow and a steady increase. As you can see from this graph below, this is months of inventory. We are slowly but steadily approaching 4 months. At 4 months, we are at a balanced market between buyers and sellers. And that means they are on equal footing and don't have too much of advantage over the other. And this is because of the rising number of listings. Again, it's not a rising overabundant supply, but it's a rising amount of listings of homes that are above the market value of what the average consumer is looking for, to the tune of about $50,000 to $100,000, which is no small number, by the way. A portion of those new listings that we're seeing are from new construction that started about a year ago, and that's going to actually continue. As you can see from this table, Kenosha and Walworth County, this is the Wisconsin builder's permits, a comparison of the first quarter of 2004 to 2003. Walworth and Kenosha County nearly doubled the amount of housing permits. We're not going to see them come online for another 8 to 12 months because that's how long it takes to gestate. But when they do, we can expect to be moving even more into a balanced market. The problem with that is many of these homes, they're not going to be affordable homes. In other words, below the $350,000 mark, they're going to likely be above that because of the high costs of labor and supplies. So not really going to alleviate the inventory shortage for affordable homes in our area. Despite all of this, the good news is we're not going to see a market crash anytime soon. This is a sold to list ratio of what homes are being sold for compared to what they were listed at, around 100%-ish. They're going to oscillate around 97 to 100. This is because it's a balanced market. We're going to really want to watch that this number stays at that price level and doesn't go down, especially as we move more towards a balanced market. And to that point, looking at the foreclosure market, we're still hovering at 0.3% as of February of this year compared to February of last year across the nation. In Wisconsin, as you can see, 0 to 0.1 difference in the number of overall mortgage delinquencies by state. So we as a whole in Wisconsin are sitting pretty well. One of the final reasons for the wonkiness in the market and the continued wonkiness for the rest of the year is that this is a presidential election year. What that means for the real estate market? Absolutely nothing. However, in the last presidential election in the year of 2000, we had buyers and sellers telling us, you know what, I want to wait till after the election to see what happens. And what happened in terms of the real estate market? Absolutely nothing. And if you look at historical data from past elections before that, especially here in Southeast Wisconsin, the election had zero effect on the real estate market. So the only thing that it's going to do is stall buyers and sellers who have a fear of uncertainty. So if you are looking to buy or sell this year, this actually could be an opportunity because there are buyers who might put their home search on pause, and there might be sellers, if you are one, who are going to wait till next year. So you're going to have less competition. So this can actually be an opportunity if you take the right actions. And that's all I have right now for this month. Thank you for stopping by. Definitely like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and until next month, you stay classy, Lake Geneva.